Hey guys, welcome to Black United. Welcome to another video, and right now it's time to talk about Ousmane Dembele and his latest injury. His injury that will see him out of action for at least 5 weeks. It is another injury once again, and the worst thing is not the injury, which is bad, and I'll be talking about it, but is what happened afterwards, which is that he missed the medical checkup. He was supposed to on Saturday to see what was happening, if there was any injuries after the game on Friday, and he had to go with Luis Suarez, and apparently he was going on a plane to Senegal with his brother. Not only that, he had to stay in the airport overnight, slept on the airport overnight, and just returned from Senegal on Monday, and then on Tuesday he did have his checkup, which was telling that he'll be staying out for the next 5 weeks. You guys know that I'm one of the first to defend Ousmane Dembele, to say that he has back potential, that he needs to be really important for Barcelona, and I don't change any of that. But Dembele, this is time to be critical of you, and if you're not committed to being a professional, because there are very two different things from being a footballer and being a good a player that has good skill with a football. That is two very different things. A footballer is the one that is willing to play with anything, like that kid that plays with cans, that kid cans, that doesn't matter if the ball is flat, that loves playing football, has a passion for the sport. Another different thing is that you have very good physical attributes, technical attributes to be a football player, and I always want the footballer rather than the skill player, because that player will give me commitment, it will give me professionalism, more like that. And I'm gonna highlight this. It's not only Ousmane Dembele that's injured. It is ridiculous that at the beginning of the season we have Messi, Suarez, and Dembele fall all at the same time, and this just has me to think that the preparations, that our preseason preparations were horrible, were mediocre. When you think about it, how many other teams are getting all their forwards injured all of a sudden in preseason? That happens when you've had a really mediocre preparation, when you haven't prepared to the amount of intensity that you should have. And this is what happens. You get players injured. Luis Suarez sustained an injury. It has nothing to do with his previous injury. At least that's what they've said. But when you're training at 1 kilometer per hour, and this is Valverde's responsibility, but it's also the player's responsibility, because like I've said before, the players do have a big say on what goes on in the squad and how they want to train. For the most part, they know, the most experienced ones like Piqué, Messi, Suarez, and all the core of big players that have been in Barcelona for a couple of years, they understand that they need to train hard. But how coincidentally that we look the same at the beginning of every season with Ernesto Valverde, and then we start picking up halfway through the season and starting really giving good performances, because our physical condition, to be honest, looks like crap. Those players look like couldn't be asked on Friday against Bilbao. Those players mentally are not focused right now. Most of them are not to the level of physical focus that you need. Piqué looks the same as he did last season at the beginning, where he was horrendous, where he was making so many mistakes, not only because he was slow on the turn, but also because he wasn't focused mentally. He's giving the ball too fast, he's keeping the ball too much at his feet. We're not able to transition the ball properly. But going back with Ousmane Dembele, if Dembele is not going to be professional, if you are gonna be keeping like it, I can respect it that you decide not to be professional, that it is just your job, that you are okay with just playing a few games but not being the best competitor, and that's fine. But if that's gonna be the case, you need to get sold. And I'm not changing anything that I said before about it. He has the potential, he has the conditions to be one of the best players in the world. But if he is not willing to commit to that, to play to that level, to work as hard as he needs to be in that level, then I'm sorry. But like I've said before, there's many players in the world to replace any player in the world. There is no greater player than the team. And we have more than enough players to assume a good season. This doesn't mean that Neymar needs to come in. If Neymar is to come in, I'll be talking about, well, I'm gonna say it really quick. If Neymar is to come in, I don't want him to come in, but it looks like if it has to happen, I at least hope that he takes Rakitic and Dembele with him. That leaves for Inter, and that's honestly the best way that I could see the season going for Barcelona. That's the best way that I can see the squad work in a really good way. Now, it's not trying to defend Dembele, but more trying to understand what was going on, because Dembele is that kind of player that, you know, that he is very proactive. Very reactive and not proactive, meaning that he will do whatever he's told, but if you are not on top of him all the time and you have no very set important rules, then he will start to lose, that edge that he needs. And how coincidentally that he has never had, I think, a single injury at Dortmund or at Rennes, at least not a considerable one. And at Barcelona he's had multiple days. I believe that after this injury he would have completed like 265 games or something like that out of action. It's ridiculous that he's missed over 2/3 of a year due to injury in about 2 seasons. Like, this is unbelievable. He needs to change his attitude, but it's also Ernesto Valverde that he decided to follow this team with their attitude of winning by the minimum effort, which is what they've been doing for the past couple seasons, of let's sit back and counterattack. Well, while you're doing that, you're also training at the least amount of effort possible. Spalletti said this before. If my team Inter train like Barcelona trained, we'll get smacked 14-0. That tells me that Barcelona players don't train to the level that other teams do. And if you don't train like other teams do, then I can perfectly understand why Liverpool is putting 4 past you and humiliating you in intensity. That Athletic Bilbao is running you over in intensity. Hell, that Eibar, Villarreal, Celta are running you over intensity because you're just not training to the level that you should. You're depending on purely just ability that you'll be able to be successful, and with just pure ability be able to control the games and win most of the games. And that will work most of the time because you have Messi, you have Suarez, you have right now Griezmann, you have Arthur, you have Frankie de Jong. For the most part, you'll win those games against lower team opposition. But when someone comes actually to play you and try to beat you, then you're gonna have troubles because you're not competitive enough. You're not prepared to take on that task. It is Very similar Dembele's injury to the one that Messi used to have before Guardiola came in. This is a very similar era to Frank Rijkaard's era, where Messi was getting injured every single month. Like literally, it was every month he was having a sort of injury. It was ridiculous. Guardiola comes in and basically he's never had injuries. He's never had injuries after that, other than the odd injury that you can explain by a bad contact with another player or something like that. But really no injuries, except for a 13-14 season under Tata Martino, where again some of the rules that were established in the dressing room were taken away, and the players could basically do whatever they wanted, train however they wanted, as much as they wanted. And we see how well that worked. When you have no rules in the dressing room, then you're normalizing the mediocre. You're putting the players up to the power. And if they are not doing what they're supposed to do, and you're not after them, then good luck getting the best of your team. Because if they physically cannot do it, and the thing is that they're physically not ready. This team it's months away from being at the best level. I can tell. Now I can see why Busquets is not focused. Now I can see why Rakitic is a little bit slow sometimes. I can see why Arturo and Arturo Vidal are not getting to the matchday squad, because they're probably not ready physically. I can see why Messi, Suarez, and Dembele got injured. Piqué, Lenglet, and Umtiti seem to have come from the break very slow mentally and physically. Jordi Alba doesn't look the same Jordi Alba for the time being. Semedo doesn't look the same Semedo for the time being. But we're on sitting done. Let me your opinions on Dembele. Do you think that he needs to get sold or be promoted to the first team? Let me your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Black Winners.